tous les sens interdits, j'entends tout ce qu'il faut, les vrais, les faux.
Good morning! Okay, I've done my practice. I've gotten so many insights and drop-ins. It's smoothie making time. But I really wanted to share. I talk about feeling it to heal it all the time. And the real reason I say that is because there's so much we suppress. We don't want to feel bad. So instead of feeling bad, we look for something to feel good, or we numb it. And what I've learned over the years is the more you numb the pain, you're numbing the joy. And that's what's keeping us from truly living our happiest life. So I have dealt with a lot of chronic pain. And when I went through Beyond Addiction the first time, it was very clear. I was like, oh my gosh, pain has become my addiction. Now think about that for a second. We need to feel, but we feel pain. So what are we really feeling? Are we really feeling the pain? Or are we resisting it, causing ourselves the pain? They say the most often you need to confront the things you're avoiding, or the things you don't want to do. The more you resist, the more you need to do it. The more you push something away, the stronger it comes at you. What about the pain? The pain that we feel, we don't want to feel. So it has that push-pull effect. It's a love-hate, just like anything in life. It becomes an addiction and a habit. When an addiction is your habit is your addiction. It kind of makes sense. So if you have physical pain, and I'm going to use myself as an example because that's the only way I can. My pain, I didn't want to feel, so I'm trying to resist it. And I'm creating more struggle, more of my own pain because I'm resisting it, because I'm pushing it away. Instead of just sitting with it, feeling it, and healing through it with it, acknowledging it while I confront it, accepting it with compassion and going, wow, I know you've been there all along and I really appreciate you, and I just need to know, what is it you are really trying to communicate to me? What do I need to know about this? What is it telling me about myself? What is the lesson? What is the blessing in this experience? So if you can sit with it and soften into it more often than resisting and trying to suppress it, numb it, ignore it, do whatever it is you takes you out of that pain because you're resisting it through that experience. See, what we're doing is creating more of it. The more we're trying to get out of it, the more we're getting into it. Think about that for a moment. I mean, really, that's our entire life. It's the whole premise behind wishing something not to happen, because you're sending it so much energy that you don't want it to happen, that instead of just getting out of your head, this is what meditation is all about, becoming mindful of your thoughts. That's how I'm recognizing all of this in this moment. Get out of your head. Stop judging everything and putting labels on it as good or bad, and the polarity swinging on the pendulum. It makes you crazy. Takes you out of your comfort. Of course it does. You feel your discomfort because you're outside of it. You're dissing comfort. You're trying to press it away, push it away, or cover it up and numb it. But it's not going anywhere. You're making it stronger and stronger and stronger the more you do that. The harder you work at not facing or focusing or working through something, the more it comes at you. Haven't you noticed that in life? I've had conversations with people over the years. You know, people will work so hard so they don't have to work. They don't even recognize the effort they put in working to not have to work. Because in their mind, they think they're accomplishing something. And that has a whole other conversation about the chemicals that are released, the dopamine, the happy hormones that we get excited because, look, I got one up on having to do that by doing this. And that's addiction, because we create those false forms of chemical happiness. Not to say the person can't be happy doing that, and maybe that's their path in life, but this is really where I want you to recognize how much energy it matters. And that's punny if you think about it. Energy matters. Energy is matter. It creates a mass. It takes up space. Even if you don't think it's there, it's constantly there. It's what connects everyone and everything to each other. It's not separate. But we have these forms. There's different forms of energy. And even the thought, the label, the judgment that you make upon something that you think is bad or is painful, or the discomfort, you're dissing your comfort, you have created more baggage, more energetic baggage and weight upon yourself. And that's a heavy burden to bear. And you feel it. You feel it, don't you? So let's take a moment and step back out of the pain and really feel into the pleasure. Resisting the pain does not give you pleasure. Releasing the holding on to and that actual action that takes energy and effort with resistance will bring you pleasure. But you can't really label either or, because once you've labeled it pleasure or pain, you have changed its meaning and its energy. And it gives you heaviness, because every time you label something and you judge it, whether you realize it or not, it's always so subtle, it's good, it's bad, you're creating more weight on your shoulders. The moment you label something, you have created energy, and that energy has to go somewhere. And most of us are lodging it in our physical bodies, but it's starting up in our minds, and our minds can go so crazy. And our minds won't tell you, oh, by the way, we're just trying to keep busy so that you can carry more judgment of labeling, judgment of energy. It matters. Everything you put attention on, focus on, you create matter. That's why people say it matters. Yes, it matters, because you've created mass. You've created energy in the form of matter because you gave it a meaning. Whether it was good, it was bad, it's your experience, it's not your experience, it's pain, it's suffering, it's pleasure, it's joyful. You have created the matter. Let me know in the comments what matters to you and how that spoke. It's what matters. And you matter too. So it's that time. When I am gone, it feels like time is flying, literally. Whenever I come home, especially if I've been gone for a week or more, inevitably it means I've got to brew the booch. So you saw me brewing Dad's, and now it's time for mine. Come on, booch. Let's speed this up a little. Alright, the booch has been brewed and just has a little bit more tea to go down the top, and then it goes back in its special spot. And I will fill this up with more tea. Life is never dull in this house. In fact, I want to share something that I think is super funny, and I will do another video. but I'll give you a little glimpse into my peacock walk. It's my peacock walk. It's my peacock walk. It's my peacock walk. And I especially like to do this when I step into Tommy's room and I make my grandiose exit. And he goes, ah! Something like that. Taco salad, baby. Feast your eyes on that.
What have we got here?
What? We have romaine lettuce chopped up, onions, some special tomatoes, some Vidalia onions, red onions, nutritional yeast, some macadamia, love sour cream, lemon, taco meat made with pecans, avocado on this.
Yeah, thank you, honey.
You're very, very welcome. Tonight's evening rainstorm comes complete with an absolutely gorgeous Technicolor rainbow. Voila! Over yonder my shoulder, hear the raindrops falling, and let's appreciate the rainbow. The gorgeous sun shining through it, bringing the prisms of color and life to light. Oh, isn't that gorgeous? That's what I love about summer and living in the Florida Sunshine State. Alright, y'all, it's time for good nights. And the ninja's asleep, so I just took a shower. I am like super happy about today. The insights that dropped in, the reality of how we need to be more intimate with everything and everyone around us. Go deeper and you're gonna find the gifts and the blessings in every moment. So, I love you very much. I look forward to reading your comments. Have a good night. Sweet dreams.